Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk about what the best state is for real estate investing. Now, it's obviously a big question, and there's a lot of options. There's literally 50 states you could choose from. And I like this question because it's the same question I was asking myself about 4 or 5 years ago. I used to live in California and I left California, and pretty soon I started getting into real estate investing. I had a remote job, and so I could decide out of all of the 50 states where I wanted to live. And I was very fortunate. And part of my decision was I want to live somewhere where it's going to be good for real estate investing. So I was trying to pick the best the best state. And I literally had a spreadsheet of cities and states and really comparing everything. Had all these data points. Uh, and so there's a lot of things you have to consider, really. I kind of took that spreadsheet and I built Lazyboots. This is the website we're looking at. So I want to show it to you and just how easy it is now. So you don't have to do all the work I did. Um, so the first thing you want to know is how are you going to compare the states for real estate investing and which is the best one? So I'm going to go over to the states tab, and here we're going to select the criteria that we want to use to compare states. Now, a lot of times you're going to want to consider some basic factors, right? House value, income, rent values, bachelor's degrees, percent educated basically. Percent employment, that's another big one that really has an effect on your rentals when you're an investor. Age, if you want to put that in, that's good too. So I'm gonna hit close, and let's just start typing in some states. So let's start with Texas. Texas is obviously very popular for investing and has been over the past several years. A lot of people today are talking about Ohio, and Indianapolis has been a big city. So let's just type in the whole state of Indiana as well. Indiana. I don't think this would be fair if we didn't include Florida, so we're going to include Florida. Florida. And let's throw one more in there. Let's do Michigan. Michigan. And what we're going to see and what we are looking at is the list of states we've entered. We've entered 5 states: Texas, Florida, Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. We can see on the map where they are. We can see that they have been ranked based on these criteria on the left. And so we can set if we want them to be high or low. Let's say I wanted to know where all of these were, high values but low house values. So, okay, this changes the ranking immediately. Now Ohio's number one, where if we looked at, higher house values, Florida would become number one based on these other criteria as well. So maybe Ohio's a good place to get in with cheaper houses while still having, these metrics rank high as well. And so if we wanted to dive in a little deeper and have a little bit of a better comparison, let's start with Ohio. I'm going to click this little chart icon. First of all, you can go ahead and click the little information icon and see that they're kind of raw numbers. But if we click this chart icon here, this is going to pull up this time series chart, where now we can look at what Ohio has over years, how it's changed, whether it's the income or the population or the house value or whatever. And so we can see here, this is a nice curve. And we can actually see that Ohio didn't dip that far in the 08-09 crash. It kind of declined for several years, but it didn't decline as far as some other states that I've seen. Let's look at Texas. Texas in this order is number 4. Let's look at its charts. Texas, and this is what I've seen many times, Texas just did not go down. So Texas is an interesting option when you look at the curves like that. Population growth is going up, number of units getting built is going up. So all good signs. Texas looks great. Let's look at Florida. And you see here what I mean comparing the curve to Texas and Ohio. How the curve here is a lot sharper. It's a lot steeper. It's a lot deeper. Florida took a much bigger hit in 08-09. So, especially if you think we're going into a recession with where we are in the whole market, then that's something to consider, right? So this is a really brief intro, but the population is still going up, in Florida, so that's good. So anyway, guys, real quick, real brief video on how to find the best state for real estate investing. Your criteria might be different than somebody else's. So you might care about these things. Someone else might care about, age might be their top priority, or some other metrics. We're adding more metrics all the time. So drop a comment in the video below if you want us to add something that you haven't seen here today. But that's pretty much it, guys. Jump into Lazyboots, click on the States tab, edit your criteria and enter the states. You'll see the rankings change, and feel free to dive in, looking at the charts and viewing the metrics. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one.